When Netflix announced that they were doing a series based on Andrzej Sapkowski's renowned Witcher books, fans over the world were excited, to say the least. A TV adaptation of their favorite fantasy universe that's faithful to the awesome source material? Sign us up! At least, that was the reaction initially. As seasons 1 and 2 progressed, it became obvious that the writers of the show weren't shy about changing the characters, timelines, and storylines at all. There were a lot of changes in seasons 1, 2, and now 3. Due to this, it was a bit of a pickle to narrow them down to just 5 major changes, and there are probably more changes to come in the future seasons. First, let's talk about Triss' appearance and story. It's safe to say that Netflix Triss isn't the same sorceress we know from the books and the games. For starters, her appearance is vastly altered compared to her description given in the books and her appearance in the games. Now, this can be said for most of the sorceresses on the show, with Yennefer being one of the few that aren't vastly different from the source material, at least visually. Casting choices aside, Triss' story is also completely changed. While she's known for being Geralt's secondary love interest to Yennefer and even taking advantage of him when he loses his memory, she doesn't seem to have any romantic interest in Netflix's White Wolf and is more of a background character. Her fate was also altered in the Battle of Sodden, which was yet another difference. To be fair, most of the sorceresses have a much different story than in the books, so maybe there's a grand plan for everything.
If a mage has been involved, that component will glow.
How about the fake Ciri? There have been a handful of changes around Ciri's story and character, her powers being blatant from the start, her appearing in new storylines, her relationship with Yennefer, but the biggest, wildest change came in Season 3 when Geralt rescues a young girl from Aretuza who Vilgefortz had experimented on to make her believe she was Ciri. Vilgefortz had apparently been kidnapping girls from Aretuza and experimenting on them so that he could learn how to mind control the real Ciri. Well, Vilgefortz didn't do anything like this in the books. He didn't kidnap girls to turn them into fake Ciris. There was a fake Ciri in the books, but that was a much different storyline where Rience kidnapped an orphan girl from Sintra to pose as Ciri and present her to Emir.
What the hell is wrong with you? Fuck, before you spoil everything. I can't spoil something.
Our next topic, Yennefer losing her magic. The Witcher's second season is the one that really introduced a plethora of changes to the story. One of the changes that really stood out was Yennefer and her losing her magic after the Battle of Sodden, the reason for which was stated as her using fire magic, a forbidden school of spells. This of course doesn't happen in the books and has some serious consequences in the show that weren't part of the original story. Yennefer spends the entire season trying to get her magic back. To do so, she strikes a deal with the demonic Voret Moir, another major change as it wasn't part of any of the books. The deal was that Yennefer was to bring Ciri to the demonic deity who plans to possess the child of the Elder Blood. In exchange, Yen would get her powers back and more. Well, Yen does bring Ciri and the demon does possess her, which causes the final battle in Kaer Morhen.
You're whole again.
I felt it come back.
Our penultimate pick is Radovid's story. Prince Radovid is vastly different in the show compared to the books. For one, he's much younger in the source material. However, he's been aged in the show where he's depicted as the younger brother of King Vizimir as well as his right-hand man. Additionally, he's shown to be a prince that lives to party rather than a ruthless, manipulative strategist. Not to mention, he develops a flirty relationship with Jaskier, aka Dandelion, which leads up to a kiss between the pair. How is he in the books? Well, there he's depicted as King Vizimir's youngest son, who's a quietly cunning strategist that becomes the future tyrant of Redania. He also has a deep-rooted, colossal hatred for mages, so colossal in fact that he hunts them down in order to burn them at the pyre. Meanwhile, he works alongside them in the Netflix adaptation. Yeah.
I've long wanted to see in person. Song of the Sevens, my favorite.
Our number 1 pick is Eskel's death. One of the most controversial changes in the series, if not the most controversial. Eskel doesn't die in the source material. The fan-favorite character actually lives long enough to assist Geralt and Ciri fight off the Wild Hunt in the massive battle in Kaer Morhen in The Witcher 3. His character is also much kinder and pleasant in the books compared to his temperamental, proud version in the series. But his personality isn't the change that angered most fans. Instead, in Netflix Witcher, Eskel fights off an infected Leshen and returns wounded to Kaer Morhen. Later on, he turns into a Leshen himself and can't control himself, so Geralt is forced to kill him in order to protect Ciri. Meanwhile, there was no infected Leshen in the books. There was actually no Leshen in the books at all. That was actually a character created exclusively for the games. Additionally, Eskel was never hostile towards Ciri. And of course, he never dies in the books, instead being one of Geralt's closest friends.
Who the hell are you?
Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, Witcher fans. What's your favorite Witcher book? Or maybe you're more fond of the games? Or even the series? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more content about your favorite fantasy series and games. Thank you again, and see you next time, Witcher fans!